Arch Advocate Podcast. I smell some bullshit. Oh, bullshit. Jussie Smollett gets 16 counts, right? Okay, it's not like there was one count and they decided like, this isn't worth it, or we'll never be able to prove it. 16 separate things, all dropped at once in what's called a nolle pros. Just for you people who, like myself, didn't know Latin until I just Googled it. It means unwilling to prosecute. Unwilling to. All right. Now, why would a police department, we all saw the video of the chief of police, a black man, right, goes up and he gives that impassioned speech saying, "Listen, this guy just knocked us back into the Stone Age. In a time when this nation is so divided, this guy pulls this stuff when we've got him dead to rights. We can't believe he did this in our fair city." Right? Why would this happen? How could this possibly happen in a fine city such as Chicago? A couple of interesting little statistics here for you. Did you know that 4 out of the last 7 governors, right? Governors tend to sit in office for quite a while. 4 out of the last 7 governors of the state of Illinois, and for you folks overseas, Chicago is in the state of Illinois. 4, count them, over half, over 50%, 4 out of the last 7 governors went to prison. Prison. Okay, do you understand? Chicago and the state of Illinois is by far the most corrupt state in the union. In fact, it's so corrupt that it baffles the mind how there has been no federal intervention to this point. I challenge you, I beseech you, brethren, Google how many Illinois politicians have gone to prison. Just Google that. Illinois politicians have gone to prison. It isn't what you're going to see is quite remarkable. Now just think about that when you're looking at that. This is who we're up against. It's Chicago. And on top of that, that's where Barack Hussein Obama was living when he was a senator. When he decided to run for president, that's where he was. And Jussie Smollett is friends with the Obamas. And Jussie Smollett, I believe, is somehow related to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was the one who was saying the reason why we need this lynching law to be a federal matter is because of the Jussie Smollett case. This is the stench of bullshit. Only this bull is dead. And as it's sitting there and rotting, its carcass decided to let go of all of its muscles, and the shit just kind of shot out of the dead carcass bull's ass. That's what you're smelling. You're smelling the rot and putrescence of the decay of Western civilization. Now, this isn't over, by the way. Keep in mind, Jussie Smollett's already being looked at for federal charges. Federal, keep in mind. He had a letter that he sent to himself with crushed up aspirin in it. I believe was what the tale was. The tale goes he sent himself a piece of hate mail saying, "Oh, this is anthrax or whatever." Okay, well, in America, again, I'm just trying to educate my foreign listeners. In America, if you put something in the mailbox, that then becomes property of the federal government. It is federally protected. As a matter of fact, I don't want to bore you to tears with U.S. history, but the U.S. Post Office actually used to be a part of, they used to be a powerful wing of the government. They're not anymore, but it's still federal. Once you put something in a mailbox, if it is a crime what you're doing, it then becomes federal. Big deal. And putting crushed up, white powder in an envelope and telling people that it's, some sort of sarin gas or whatever it was, well, that falls under terrorism, right? So this isn't over. Now, let's get into, right? I don't want to talk about the conspiracy theory of Barack and Mike Obama, right? I wish them the best. I hope that Michael Obama gets his penis removed and those 2 Obamas can live happily ever after with their illegitimate daughters. I wish him the best. I think I speak for all of us when I say that. We don't need to get into the fact that Smollett knows those people, has been to their house. There's pictures of them. We don't need to get into the conversation of his relationship to Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Let's just talk about what just happened. Now, how did this happen, you might ask? Well, the thing is that if you can thoroughly convince a judge that there is no way that your client's going to be able to get a fair trial, right? Then a judge has a responsibility to either move the venue or drop the charges, right? Now, if said judge was under any sort of, I don't know, influence of political corruption, right? If that judge was in a place in the world that was known for political corruption and said judge got a phone call saying, hey, listen, Your Honor, remember that favor you owe me? Well, I just got a call from my friend and I owed my friend a favor, and so here's the favor you're going to pay me so that I can pay my friend. You're going to let this kid go. Let us now listen to what his attorney said.
We have nothing to say to the police department except to investigate charges and not try their cases in the press, but to allow matters to be investigated, allow the state to investigate and to bring charges, and not to jump ahead and utilize the press to convict people before they are tried in a court of law.
Okay, did you hear that? That was the sound of an attorney saying the reason why the judge let this guy go is because the police chief went on television and told the whole world that they believed he was guilty. That's so weird. Are you saying that, in your opinion, what you're trying to say is that you believe that the police made an arrest of somebody that they thought was guilty of a crime? That's really absurd. That is so absurd that you would go before a judge and then come on to television and say, well, the reason we need to let this poor innocent man go was because the police believed strongly that he was guilty of a crime and therefore arrested him. This is the thing. This, by the way, this is not over. This is not over. It's over as far as Chicago is concerned, but this case is not over. And of course, just wait, right? Now, I know I'm one of the first people in, but the Young Turks, they're going to come on YouTube here any minute now, and they're going to talk about people like me and what a big racist I am for pointing out that there is absolutely no way. Right, and they're going to be talking about. Let's talk about white privilege for a second. So this is what white privilege looks like to the people who run around talking about white privilege all the time. You got this guy off on a technicality, right? You got him off because he knows people. He knows a former sitting leader of the free world. He's friends with Kamala Harris. He just had 16 counts dropped where there is video footage, right? There's the two guys that actually did beat him up. And by the way, I'm not going to play it for you. Or maybe I will. But at the end of what that lady says, she's like, yeah, those two dudes, those two black guys, they're the ones who beat him up. Why don't you go talk to them? We know that Smollett paid them $3,500. We know that those two men testified. They said, yeah, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on here. The man paid us $3,500 to pretend like we were beating him up. And that's what we did. We're actors, man. He paid us for an acting job. I don't understand why I'm under arrest here. I don't know what's going on. These poor souls, they're going down. Jesse Smollett, look at this. Jesse Smollett is going to leave those two black dudes out to dry.
The two men who attacked him have indicated that they attacked him. So we already know who attacked him. Those brothers have, well, that's up to the state.
To be clear, there are not those recommendations of dropping the charges for getting that money?
No.
The two men who attacked my brother, why are you doing it?
Well, the two brothers have said that they attacked him. So,
If he's a victim,
we don't want to try them in the press any more than he wanted to be tried in the press.
So he's just going to leave those two dudes out to dry and let them hang. that's the show. Please do hit subscribe, and down there, hit that subscribe button. And if you're ever in the mood to check out a new podcast, mine is every single day. There's links to it down below. Please click on that and hit subscribe to that as well. And we'll see you on the next episode.